Hello and welcome back to that Eurovision site. I'm Daniel. I'm joined today by Rory, and today we will
Hello.
be discussing the Irish Eurosong, which was their selection for Eurovision 2025, which ended a while back now with Emmy being selected to represent Ireland with the song Laika Party. Rory, what do you think of that news?
So, um, I mean, going into Eurosong, this was definitely my least favorite song. I had never really liked Witch Woods when Emmy was in MGP, and the fact that she went to Ireland to go with it was not the best move I think that she could have made. Um, but I mean, look, she got there. She's won rightfully. She that's fine. She's clearly like the favorite. I just don't like the song that much. I think it's just a little bit too twee, and it's a little bit too it's too Scandi for my liking, basically. Uh, and I just there were so many options in this national selection. I was actually excited to see what Ireland could have picked. And then we went with the literally my sixth place out of six. So, or seven even. And was it six? No, it was six. Yeah, it was six.
Six.
I just, yeah, I was hoping for a different person to win, not gonna lie. But yeah, what do you think?
I think it was kind of fun. Kind of fun in that I would never choose to put this on way. But if it got put on at Eurofest, got put on at Euroclub, I'll be like, yeah, sure, why not? It's that
Hmm.
kind of fun.
Yeah, it's a kind of a club song, definitely. But I just and I appreciate it as that, but I wouldn't think that Ireland should be sending something
I
like
will
that because the
say,
last time we sent something like that was I would argue was Dustin, and look at how well that did.
I will say, there are a lot of Irish people who love this song very much, almost to an annoying degree.
Well, they're
How,
supporting her at literal petrol stations.
where
So
I remember at Melfest weekend where she performed the song twice. Uh, just like from nowhere, just I was just engulfed by Irish people behind me, just yelling as loud as they could for Emmys, which I think just goes to show up the kind of Irish person that they will just show up in places just
makes sense.
randomly. I'm sure they weren't
Yeah.
there before. They just appeared supporting Emmy, which fair play to them.
And that is a usual thing of my people. It's like the opposite of an Irish goodbye. It's an Irish hello. Yeah. I think it'll be really good to see live. And I think when you actually see it live and when you see it in that kind of sense, I think it's fine. It's just out of the six songs that there was a lot of potential. And for me, that was the one that just made the least amount of impact, you know?
So what? How do you think Like a Party is going to do at in Basel?
See, it's hard to say now, actually, because when it was selected, I was fully convinced that it was going to be an NQ and it was going to be, Ireland was going to be back in its non-qualification era, and we're just going to see the quality go down straight away. As the season's gone on, and more kind of surprise, maybe more non-impactful songs have managed to be like selected. The pathway to qualification for Emmy has kind of widened a little bit. So I think there could be an opportunity where it could actually make it to into the final. Now, I am not saying that it would do very well in the final. I think it would probably barely get in, I would say it'd probably be like ninth or 10th. But when it does get in, I would say maybe like I want to say like again, maybe like how I was talking about in the Portugal episode, maybe like 17th to 20th. Because I think not a lot of people would really respond to this in the same way. And I don't think this would appeal to juries. It's a lot more geared towards the televote. And if you have other songs that are very heavily leaning towards the televote, like how we have this year, like Sweden, Finland, Malta, like all these songs that are very geared, and Australia obviously too, all these ones that are more geared towards getting the public vote, I think this one will probably be left in the dust a little bit. So I'm not expecting a great result, but I can see a potential for qualification, which,
Yeah,
to be honest, compared to how it was a month ago,
I am
pretty good.
looking at semi-final two right now, and there is only one song in there I would say is a has zero chance of qualifying, and that's Georgia. The others, I
Mm,
think, even the ones I really do not like, I can see them going through.
yeah.
I can see a lot of them going through. Ireland is one of the maybe pile, in that it just kind of depends how the voters are feeling, really. Because there are
Hmm.
a lot of songs there that somebody who likes Ireland will also like.
Yeah.
I feel like there will be crossover with the Ikome camp, with the serving camp, with the milkshake man camp.
Yeah.
I feel like they're stronger songs. They
Hmm.
are songs that have a bigger appeal than like a party. I feel like it's the niche of the song that they just it's ha ha look at this rather than ha ha I like this.
Yeah.
In a sort of lavender kind of way. In
And then, oh my God, yeah, guys, let's just like
they'll
lose all
enjoy
our sense.
that 3 minutes, but they're not gonna vote for it, I don't think.
Mm,
So I'd say qualification is definitely not out of the question, but I'd say it's more unlikely than likely at this point in time.
yeah. Like I think it's definitely borderline. It can either be ninth or 10th or 11th or 12th, depending. And the thing is, let's be honest here. Um, Marvin Dietman has just been announced as the creative director as well uh for Ireland. So they're going to have some big bombastic kind of staging in the same way that, other songs that have been directed by Marvin Dietman
He is very hit or miss.
have. So yeah.
He he
But
he he made the Snap House. He also did whatever was going on with Who the Hell is Edgar. So you never really know until you see it.
mhm. So I think though they have ideas from what they had in the national selection. Um, Now it did look quite sort of, you know, unpolished, but there's always that problem when it comes to Eurosong that that it literally is just in a tiny studio where there's just no space for proper staging or
Doomsday Blue
creativity.
was getting NQ allocations after Eurosong.
I mean, come on. Like I think once it's on a bigger stage, I think it might have more of an opportunity to make an impression. But I'm nervous,
I
you
feel
know.
they might lean too far into the weird factor.
Mm.
I
I
just
mean, this whole
get some
kind of
like
like go
weird
on.
LED dogs or something that would just be strange rather than entertaining. And
Mm.
I hope they don't.
Yeah. And I think as well, like they also have the weird astronauts kind of thing that was going on in the LEDs last time. So that in itself is also going to offer up a really weird opportunity in there too. And they're it's very obvious they're trying to go for like a kind of a kitchen camp thing. It's not that they're trying to be a really serious song. They are going to lean into it, but it just depends on whether or not people are going to buy into that at that time. And at this point, I can't really say whether or not, like, I mean, as lovely as Emmy is, I just think, do you always trust Norwegians when it comes to staging as well? Because she's from Norway. I don't think Norway has ever really like the last time that Norway had a really, really good staging show, I want to say was hmm, maybe even 2015. And that was set, yeah, I know. And even then, that was the most basic one, right? Because it was just a really strict
That's just kind
background.
of go give us nothing the staging.
Look, sometimes simple and pared back for a simple and pared back song is what's needed,
Yeah,
you
but
know?
Estonia did this basically the same song so much better in staging that year.
Mm, but no, there was a different vibe with that, you know? But in Ireland, like, look, Ireland needs to get a whole
But
group of stage.
they were both male female duo breakup songs that were solely written by the man. They're the same song.
So what we're hearing then is basically Stig Resta and Moreland are the same person. So does that mean that
Basically, yeah.
so is Moreland now doing NFTs? Is that what the vibe is now?
No, but he's doing ST Lau.
Well, that is true. He also did something terrible in his early youth that he's still not told us. So
Yeah.
drop the lore, please. Oh, yeah. But I don't know. It's going to be a tough one for. I hope though that Ireland will qualify. I think Ireland is in desperate need of a little bit of a qualification streak, so that we don't think that it's just like a glitch that Bambi qualified because you know ugh, there was yeah. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but I am ready to be disappointed at a moment's notice.
Back to Eurosong then. Are there any other performances or songs that you'd have rather seen go to Eurovision?
Uh, any other of them?
Any in particular?
No, I think okay. I think people really shat on Railta for no reason. I think that performance was stunning. It really leaned into the traditional Irish sort of pagan elements of things. It wasn't in the same witchy kind of level as Bambi's was. It was actually a little bit more kind of ceremonial, more so than just like, oh, yes, it's not Catholic. And I think it had some really good, interesting elements. And I was so sad that like the panel, which frankly does not need to be in there at all. I've
We'll
said
get
it
on to
so
the
many
panel.
times. Like literally, their entire need in this selection is useless. Please, 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 RTE, just scrap it. It is not what you need. It saves money. It can also just like be put back into maybe having a standalone national final. Oh, I don't think it'll happen, but please just get rid of it. Um,
I
but
think
like, yeah,
they'll do something with it, I think, because of a big bag of dicks gates.
well, this is it. I mean, for those of you who may not know, Samantha Mumba, who is obviously a huge name in the Irish music scene, who finished second this year, she really hit out at all of the panel for basically killing her chances, and told them to have a full bag of dicks, basically, and it became a huge storm within like all the red tops, all the tabloids in Ireland. So obviously, it
Even the
prompted literally
UK.
like it literally prompted responses from each of the artists, each of the panelists, other than Bambi, because Bambi was obviously excluded from everything. But
Like
um,
it was news here as well.
literally, international scandal. Please, RT, just get rid of it. If this is not a sign, get rid of it. You know. Um, but yeah, no, Realta was really good. Samantha Mumba, if she could have actually sung properly, like if she didn't fuck up her vocals, I think she could have actually had a really decent shot. And then Niall, I think, was also really good, but I think maybe the lack of staging and then maybe the lack of cohesion between like the outfit and what the actually was going on like in the LED and stuff like that. I think if there was a little bit more cohesion on that, that could have also done quite well. Um, I think Bobby, I think, could have done okay, but it seemed like she had a lot of like vocal issues and maybe she thought she had it in the bag and so she could kind of let loose a little bit, but um maybe it's just not the case, you know. And then oh god, who was the last one?
Angie.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, as much as I would have, I know you would have.
I still think that was relatively speaking a good song.
It was an okay song. I just don't think it would have done well at Eurovision, you know. And the only thing that was really going to work well in his favor was his looks, to be honest, because the staging was a bit disjointed. The story of his sister being the violinist, I mean, yeah, that's cool, but no one's going to know about that unless they're really doing the research or if the commentator says it in the 20 seconds of the postcard. um so yeah, so I think that was fairly much like a bit of a write-off, but yeah, there were some really good options in Eurosong, and I was unpleasantly surprised at the overall winner. What do you think?
Uh, I'll agree that the live of Power Play, which was my favorite of the songs, not good.
Mm,
I think she might have been unwell at the time, but even still, the idea, the performance, messy to say the least. And yeah, it's Eurosong. It's going to be a bit of a mess. We've seen that in recent years, even with the good songs in Eurosong. That the
mm,
staging can be messy because it's a late night talk show studio, not a proper studio. It's not going to be brilliant. The sound mixing is not going to be the best, but it was still a bit.
mm.
I agree that the panel were just really weird towards Realtor, especially because what are you on about? That's not what people want from Ireland.
Like back in 2007, maybe, trad stuff wasn't as popular, but
It's
now,
been 20
I mean,
years.
things have changed, you know? And in total, I mean, to be honest, it does kind of hark back to maybe this feeling that like maybe Irish people are almost like ashamed of their traditional culture and this kind of thing, and they only want to do things
I
that really
would go as
affect them.
far as say as folk music has never been more in Eurovision.
Yeah, literally.
People
So
love it.
capitalize on it, you know? And she sang it really well. Her vocals were probably one of
And
the
a
best.
lot and a lot of people really like Ireland just as a country with folklore.
Hmm.
There is a reason so many people visit Ireland, so many people outside of Ireland celebrate St. Patrick's Day. They just love Ireland.
Yeah. So we're missing out on a trick by not leaning into our
Yeah.
folk history, you know? Poor form.
I would have liked her song to be Irish, but 2 years in a row is too much to ask for, I guess.
True.
I do think Niall really grew on me in the live performance. I think purely based on that, I think he was one of the strongest. And I think that there is room for him to come back in a few years and win Eurosong easily.
Hmm.
Because there's definitely potential there that this year was not his year. Another year it definitely could be. So on that, looking forward to future editions, what do RTE need to do now to ensure that other regardless of what happens with Emmy, they stay on a good enough path. Because even if Emmy doesn't make the final, I think they're in a lot better place than they were like 2 years ago.
Hmm. I
How
mean,
do you
nothing could be
ensure that?
worse than Wild Youth, you
Too
know.
soon.
But I don't know. Okay. I think there needs to be a complete overhaul of the national final. I think we've been saying this for years. it needs to move out of the Late Late Show. It needs to have its own standalone national final where there's no panel or anything like that. Now, saying that, the last time that we did have a standalone national final was back in 2008. And even then, there still was a panel. So I wouldn't be surprised that this is just probably something that RT just wants, which is annoying because why do we need to have someone guide us into what we're meant to be thinking? Um, and I think, picking artists who have a very clear vision of what they want to do, even if they don't have much in the way of like, you know, um, like they have the funds, but they just don't have like the stage itself. It's a work in progress, but they have an idea and they want to build on it. Those kind of things. We saw that with Bambi, we saw that with Elsha last year, we saw that with Railta this year. And I think we can build something that's really strong. I think there's nothing stopping Ireland from going back into having a golden era at the contest again, at least doing really well, setting ourselves a really good precedent that could eventually get us maybe a top five, top three, maybe even a win or something like that. But like, we have to let ourselves try. And it just doesn't feel like RT are doing much to help with that you know
Yeah.
I'm glad that there was like a real step up in quality this year. That was a good start, but we just need to scrap the panel, move out of the Late Late Show, get our own standalone national final, and then just, even if it's just a small one, even if it's just again really small, and just having an opportunity to just fund like this amazing opportunity for to build an interesting stage show, go to the pre-parties, build up this rapport with fans, and then you'll be able to have a Bambi moment nearly every year.
Yeah.
That's really what I'm after, but I
I
that might just be wishful thinking.
I am fully down for ESC's edification of Eurosong.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Even if it's just like a 2022 kind of thing where it's not that much of a show really, but it's its own thing. And it,
Mm,
I think a lot of countries could learn so much from the spell of ESCZ that they did probably better than Eurosong is doing right now on, I would guess, quite a lot lower budget. So there's not really an excuse to keep it on the Late Late Show unless they actively want to.
yeah. And I mean, you know, RT itself is still coming out of this whole financial fiasco. If you don't know about it, there's been a massive payout scandal involving former Late Late Show host Ryan Tuberty, but that's a story for another time. Um, but now that like it's recouped a lot of this money, they can now fund a better selection thanks to it, and they're just not doing it.
And that's clearly designed for it. If Emmy is performing at petrol stations in Dundalk, people clearly care about it.
Mm-hmm. So RT, this is an open call, please. Please listen to the fans. That's all we ask. We'll see.
Yeah. Unless we have any more final Eurosong thoughts.
I mean, please, Rail to come back. And Samantha Mumba, fair play to you for actually coming because she said that she was not actually like ever asked. She was asked several times. I don't know what she was on about, but she was asked several times. So she needs to come back, and
Yeah.
hopefully, maybe she might actually get some other famous-ish acts to go to Eurovision.
He is hoping. And let us know who you would like to see compete in a Irish Eurovision selection. Thank you very much for watching. I have been Daniel. Rory has been Rory. Be sure to like and subscribe to that Eurovision site on YouTube. Check out that Euro site on every single social. They will be in the description below, or you can find us on all of them at that Euro site. Also, be sure to listen to that Euro podcast you might be doing so now, as this will be going up as a podcast as well. So let us know if you're watching through that. Also, check out that Eurovision site for all your Eurovision related news. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. We're heading into pre-party season. We're at LEP, EIC, and I'm sure we'll have bits and bobs of all the others as well. Thank
Mhm.
you very much for watching and goodbye.
See you later.
Bye.